Good afternoon. I just saw Kristen Johns posted a video making cloud cookies, and you know what? That just sounded interesting to me, and my finals are done, my presents are wrapped, I don't have a great deal of things to do, so I'm trying to have more of what's called like intuition days, where you just do kind of what you feel like, because that's supposed to help with burnout. So that's a long story short of saying that I'm making these cookies, and I figured I would show you guys. I don't normally do a lot of baking. I normally kind of leave that to Julia and my mom, but you know what? I'm not doing anything else, so here we go. Got my little helper here. Not too much of a help because he is taking a nap. I tried to fix my hair a little bit, but I'm honestly not sure that it made a difference. But if anyone is curious as to why Shadow is in the basket, Shadow is handicapped, meaning his back legs no longer work. His front legs don't work so well either, because of a slipped disc injury. He's 15, so that's kind of the story of why he is always in the basket. But he is such a good boy. He is a very sleepy boy, but he is my sidekick. So he will be here in the corner while we make these cookies. Is this focused? I don't know. Hi. So, yes, time for the cloud cookies. So, in true Emma fashion, I forgot that the butter and cream cheese had to be softened before we make this. So, those are on the stove softening. But in the meantime, I figured we would get started with sifting the flour. So, the recipe calls for cake flour. I don't have cake flour. So what we're gonna do instead is regular flour and cornstarch. So you can substitute 2 cups of flour minus 2 tablespoons and then add those 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. I'm using Argo brand, but it really doesn't matter. So we're going to do that, and that has to be double sifted. So by the time we're done with that, everything else will probably be softened. Now we are going to sift the flour once, and then we are also going to sift it again. Style, there was a problem. That cream cheese was actually not good anymore. So I got a different cream cheese, which was not softened at all, and then I put it in the microwave. So let that be a lesson. Sometimes life just doesn't go as planned. We're gonna take the stick of butter and 4 ounces of cream cheese, and we're gonna cream those 2 together in the KitchenAid. Okay, so now the mixture looks like this. I think it's supposed to. Yeah, I'm not a baker, but this looks fine. So now we're going to add in the egg. Now adding a cup of sugar, but I just have 2 half cups, so I'm gonna do that instead. Okay, so while that's mixing, I'm going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla extract and a teaspoon of almond extract. Now to that, I'm going to add a half teaspoon of baking powder, and then I'm going to add the cake flour in 3 separate sections. Okay, so now the dough looks like this. So again, don't use this as a guide. This is just what mine looks like. Watch till the end to see if they come out right. I'm going to cover this and put it in the freezer for an hour. Okay, so it's been an hour, and this is what the dough looks like. Looks the same, just colder. So I'm gonna set you guys up and we'll roll these out. The one thing is that these are pretty sticky, so I'm trying to decide how big to make them. The recipe says 1 to 2 inches. Personally, I really barely know what that means, and so I'm gonna assume that this is good. And if it's not, you know, feel free to learn from my mistakes. That's why we're here. Trusty little helper is still here. So this is what the cookie dough looks like. It doesn't look super different or feel super different than like a normal kind of cookie dough. Oh, the oven's preheated. So I'm kind of interested to see what's gonna happen. Kristin mentioned this in her video too, so I guess we'll see. But they're gonna go in for 9 minutes and then I will check back with y'all. For just 9 minutes first, because I don't want to do 2 at the same time. If it turns out 9 minutes is not the optimum, or if I burn them, or like God forbid something happens to them, so I'm going to do them in 2 separate batches and just see what happens. So I just took these out and dusted them with powdered sugar. They do look pretty good if I do say so myself. I'm going to let them cool for a little bit, get the second ones out of the oven, and then I will try one for you guys. And the recipe says 9 to 11. I think I left them in there closer to 13, so if you are trying to recreate this, I would definitely do a little bit longer. It could have been because I did them bigger, it could have been because of my oven. It really depends, but I found I had to leave them in for longer. Okay, so I'm gonna give one of these a try. Oops. They're definitely very light and fluffy. I don't really know what I was expecting. They were called cloud cookies. So that is what they look like on the inside. You can't really taste the extract in it, which I'm a little surprised about. So they're slightly bland, but texturally, really like them.